A warm welcome to a subject which may not be that dear to you, but definitely very close to my heart. And you'll be surprised to know that I started my practice with housing society, and even today I am only into housing society, which a lot of chartered accountants find it very difficult to digest. Whenever my introduction is given, a lot of participants then come and say, how come with 36 rupees audit fees you are able to manage? In fact, the chairman of our audit committee, that is the Central New India, Rajkumar Adukia, says, audit is a byproduct and one need to understand. But what happens with a lot of chartered accountants, housing society audit, we take it as a primary thing, and then we give up other things which are actually important, but we call it as a byproduct. Now I have got 3 subjects to, or maybe 4 subjects to deal with. To start with, I thought let me take deemed conveyance. The deemed conveyance has become a hot topic for the last 4 years, since 2010, since it is started. And all of you must be staying in a housing society. And I just would like you to raise the hand for a minute. How many of your societies have actually not issued the conveyance? Just raise the hand. Okay. How many of you have issued? Raise the hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means 4 people out of, if I have to take 40, that means nearly 10% have issued, 90% of the housing societies have not issued the conveyance. Now, keeping that in mind, a law was enacted after nearly 49 years of its existence, that is Maharashtra Ownership Flat Act. Maharashtra Ownership Flat Act was enacted to give the protection to the flat buyers, and this was considered to be one of the highest legislation in India to protect the flat purchaser. If you compare other states, the Maharashtra was a pioneer state, and it was considered to be one of the best legislation. But to put it in proper perspective, this is only on wish list as to what the developer should do, what the flat owner should do, but there was no compliance which could be done. If something goes wrong, if the bidder does not deliver the flat in a particular time, or he does not enter into an agreement, he does not do anything, or he contradicts the provisions of the Maharashtra Ownership Flat Act, you had no other option but to go to the court. So that means it was more of a wish list, but otherwise any breach of contract would definitely amount to, going to the court. And you understand when you go to the court what happens. So after 49 years of Maharashtra Ownership Flat Act, a provision was incorporated which basically of 3 important provisions. One is formation of society, second is taking the information from the developer for the money he has collected in the name of society and other maintenance, and third and most important is where he does not give the conveyance. So these are the 3 particular amendments was carried out in the year 2008, and in the year 2010 rules were made. Now, as the name indicates, I will not go into other aspect, but I will go to the aspect of deemed conveyance, the subject proper. As the name very much indicates, it is deemed conveyance. You know what is deemed dividend. What is deemed dividend? A dividend which is not had, which is not given. A law creates a fiction, law creates a provision and says that it is deemed dividend, and so you pay the tax. So here also you must be knowing a lot of deemed provisions. When it is not a transfer, it is deemed to be the transfer. So I just to take you to a lighter mood, the provision deemed from where it has originally come, on the lighter side, not on the actual side. So what happened in US was there was a law about the accident. So if somebody does an accident with negligence, then they have to be punished. So the law was there, and one beautiful girl started driving a vehicle, and she, with her negligence, is a person, and then the matter goes to the court, and the opponent advocates, argues. The law says a prudent man, if he does negligence and commits any accident and does something wrong, then that person is liable for punishment. So the question arises whether that person who was driving was a prudent man or a woman. So naturally it was a woman. So she got acquitted. So the punishment was not there. So the law was changed to say that a prudent man will be deemed to be a prudent woman, or a prudent woman is deemed to be prudent man. So the woman does not become man, but for the purpose of that provision, she is deemed to be the man. So similarly, a fiction has been created in the Maharashtra Ownership Act, and therefore, lot of confusion has been created in these common men, especially the people who are staying in a housing society. Some advocate says the deemed conveyance is a doomed conveyance. Have you heard about it? In some of the newspaper articles, deemed conveyance is a doomed conveyance. Somebody says it is for the bureaucrats to make money. Somebody says it is the professional agents who make money. And then somebody says it is a political move to have the vote bank. Now whatever it is said, but it is a legislation which is made in the state of Maharashtra, and in order to protect the flat buyer. So with this, let me straight away go and tell you in 2 lines, and then we'll explain. What it says is, the Act provides that the builder and the landowner who is forming a society, who is supposed to form the society, who has formed the society, within 4 months from the date of formation of society, he is supposed to give the conveyance. Within 4 months from the date of formation of society, he is supposed to convey the land and building in the favor of legal body which he has formed. And there was nothing further in the earlier law. Now an amendment has been done under section 11(3), which says the failure of which the society or the office bearers can make an application and before the competent authority and get the conveyance registered in their name as deemed conveyance, which means after the expiry of 4 months from the date of formation of society, if the builder fails to convey the land and building, landowner fails to convey the land and building, it is deemed to have been conveyed, which means those who have raised the hand, 90% societies, who have so far not issued the conveyance, it is deemed to have been conveyed. So any problem with you now? Absolutely, there is no problem. The law says on the expiry of the statutory period of 4 months, if the builder has not conveyed the land and building to you, it will be deemed to have been conveyed. So that means every one of you have received the deemed conveyance. Now if I am saying that I have received the deemed conveyance, then what is all about? What is this all procedure? I have written about 1000 pages book on deemed conveyance. Now what is all these 1000 pages explaining about the deemed conveyance? And in one line you are explaining. Now what happens is, being a chartered accountant, I can take you to a legal angle. Now we are all governed by the immovable property, as you know, and movable property as well. Is governed under which act? Transfer of Property Act, 1882. So we are governed by the Transfer of Property Act, 1882. What the Transfer of Property Act says, I'll take to the basic. The Transfer of Property Act says very categorically, any immovable property exceeding worth rupees 100, because it is of 1882, so you can imagine the value at that time 100 rupees. So exceeding rupees 100, that has not been changed now. an immovable property, the value of which is exceeding 100 rupees, has to be in writing. So that means there has to be a document. The document could be anything. When I say document, that means buyer and seller need to execute. So that secondly it says the intra-movable parties have to admit the registration and sign the document. They have to execute. So that means there has to be signature of buyer and seller. That is also equally important. Third ingredient, which is very important, it should be duly registered. When I say it should be duly registered under the Indian Registration Act, or now it is a Registration Act 1908, which means buyer and seller both should appear before the registrar, give their witness, and document should be registered, duly registered under Registration Act. And fourth and most important is, again, it should be before registration, it should be duly stamped, as required under the Maharashtra Stamp Act 1958. So there are four ingredients which are required. Correct? When there are four ingredients required, can a law make a provision to overrule the Central Act? Can a state law come out with a provision which contradicts the central law, which is the 1882 law, which never had an amendment? So there it is very clear. Now the question comes, the conveyance of the land and building from the landowner and the builder in favor of a housing society. Is it immovable property? The answer is yes. Is it worth 100 rupees? More than 100 rupees? Yes. Now the question comes whether it should be in writing. The answer is yes. So where is the written document? There is no written document. So that means I have to create a written document. The next thing is whether the seller is ready to sign. The answer is no. Seller here means the builder. Whether the landowner who has given the development right, whether he is ready to sign, the answer is no. Then there has to be an authority who required to execute this, who need to sign on behalf of the landowner and builder who have not agreed to sign, who are defaulting, who are not cooperating to execute the sale deed. That's conveyance deed. So therefore, the law has been made in such a way that after the statutory period, it is deemed to have been conveyed and not below the rank of district deputy registrar will be designated as the competent authority to step into the shoes of the landowner, to step into the shoes of the builder and execute the conveyance deed in favor of the society. For a minute, assume yourself to be a competent authority designated by the law, that is by the Maharashtra Ownership Act. Now you are the competent authority. Now I as one society come to you, Kalpataru Cooperative Society, I come to you. I say that, sir, the law has appointed you as a competent authority. Now my society is registered more than 4 months old. Now that means I have got a due conveyance. So I am deemed to be the member. I am deemed to be the, I am deemed to be having the ownership of the land and building. Now the law has appointed you as a competent authority. Please give me the conveyance deed. Now as a competent authority, what you will say? Okay, I understand, make an application. So that means you have to make an application. Because he is going to step into the shoes of the landowner and builder. So you have to make an application. Second comes, if I have to make an application, now when you are going to step into the shoes of somebody else, is it not your duty to give a legal notice to him or call the explanation? So naturally you will say that, okay, once you make an application, tell me who are the opponents, against whom you want me to step in and give you the conveyance. So the applicant need to give the name and address of the landowner, give the name and address of the builder who has constructed. Then he says, okay, you are applying, what is your legal status? Are you a society, are you a condominium, are you a company? So give me a registration certificate. Then when you are applying, you will say, okay, Mr. Prabhu, you have come, fine. Which conveyance you want? Is it entire Kandivali you want, entire Bombay you want, or entire, what do you want? I will say, I want my land and building. Okay, give me the title document of your land and building. That means you are saying Mr. X and Mr. Y are the landowner and Z is the builder, fine. Give me the documentary evidence that those land are standing in their name. So that means you will ask for a city survey office, that is city survey office which is known as a property card from the city survey office latest. Then you will ask for the agreement for sale that you have executed with the builder. And then you will say which building you want to get conveyed. I'll say building having 36 story. Okay, then you will say you give me the approved plan. So that means as a competent authority, in order to convey the land and building, he will start asking various questions which you need to put it in the application, and then he will send a legal notice to the landowner and builder, call for the explanation, and then go ahead with the conveyance. Now with all this, why I am explaining this, I am taking a little more time on this, and I want your feedback. Now why I want this is the first lecture that I am giving after the new government has come on deed conveyance. And let me tell you honestly, I have been asked by the present government, and that too from your conscience, I can share with you, none other than Atul Batalkar. He has requested me, he has taken an appointment with the CM, and he has requested me that please give me measures by which the deed conveyance can be made more friendly. More 90% societies have not received the conveyance. How can it be made more friendly? And how can it be seen that it is delivered and it reaches to the end consumer? I am using my all knowledge, but then what happens is we come with our own thought process. Maybe you will have some wonderful ideas which I would like to take it and then I will place before your own MLA, Atul Batalkar, and then we will take it to the government, and we would like to see that the deed conveyance become much easier. So right now I will explain you the process. I have given you the holistic. That means where the societies are entitled to get the conveyance after 4 months, but they are not issued. Therefore, government has appointed an authority, that is none other than district deputy registrar in every district, to receive an application from the society with all the necessary documents, and he will issue a show cause notice to the builder and the landowner as to why they are not conveyed, and after getting satisfied, he issues an order saying that yes, this society who is the applicant is entitled for a conveyance, and then he asks the society to prepare a due conveyance deed, and he steps into the shoes of the landowner and builder who have defaulted in giving conveyance. On behalf of them, he signs. So that means there is a law document. He signs and executes before the registrar. That means even the admission before registrar takes place. Then you as a society will pay the stamp duty and get the registration done. And then, of course, you get the name change in the property. This entire process, in a simple way I have explained, but when it is going into practically, there are so many issues. So let me go ahead. What is conveyance? Conveyance means transfer of right, title, interest of land and building in favor of the society. This is called conveyance. Objectives of the conveyance is to become a legal owner of the land and building, to make entries in government records, and to have a free and marketable title. As I said, to become a legal owner, you are deemed to be the owner, but are you a legal owner? No. To become a legal owner, you have to comply with the requirement of the statute, that is under the Transfer of Property Act. To make in government entries, that means to bring your name in the city survey office or revenue record, Satbara, property card, you need to give them the registered conveyance deed, and then only they will bring your name. And last is to have a free and marketable title, because right now your land or your building or your flat has got many stakeholders. Now who are the many stakeholders? One, the builder says I have got a development right. The landowner says I have given a development right. I have not given my land title. So that means two stakeholders. Third, the flat owner says I am the flat buyer. The flat belongs to me, and I have got an agreement. I have paid the stamp duty. So and the society says we are maintaining the common affairs. So we are registered society. So the entire building belongs to us, and you are only having the occupancy right. You cannot be anything in your flat. So this way there are four stakeholders. Now when the conveyance happens, the society in the general body, all the members say that the land should be obtained, the building should be obtained in the name of society. That means all the flat owners surrender to the society or give the authority to the society to get the land and building in their name. So that means Now one authority, all 100 members, 50 members, 25 members pass a resolution that the land and building should be in the name of society. So that means they give up their right. So the land and building belongs to society. Secondly, the developer also surrenders his right because he will execute as a confirming party. Then the landowner also surrenders his right or transfers his right of the land and building to the society. So that means all three entities who are claiming at a different time different right and ownership of the land and building, now they come together and give it to the society. So this way society becomes free and marketable time. Then comes transfer of, what are the advantages of conveyance? This is very simple. You get the ownership of right over the land. All commercial benefits like increase in FSI, appreciation, everything comes to you. You can get the balance FSI and permission for redevelopment is possible. Without conveyance, you cannot redevelop because only owner of the land can apply for the redevelopment. You get both. It is not only the land, you get the building also. Both the ownership you get transferred. Now conveyance can, as I said, you can go through the builder, you can get it through the court, and you can get it through the deemed conveyance. There are three routes. If you have to reach Delhi, you may walk down, you can go by train, maybe by motor vehicle, you can go by plane, whatever modes you want to take. But if you want to get a conveyance, you can go in three different modes. Now in each mode there will be sub-modes. So we'll see that. So when you are going through the builder, I am going very quickly. When I am going through the builder, you can approach the builder. Why I am saying is, there is a misconception among the people that deemed conveyance is a lengthy process. It is not a lengthy process. What deemed conveyance is doing is, where the builder is not signing, DDR is going to sign, district deputy registrar is going to sign. That's it. That is as simple as that. If the landowner is expired, then legal heirs are spread across world, you are not able to catch them. So you have a government officer who will step into their shoes and sign. That's it. So all other procedure required for a conveyance need to be executed. So it is not because of the deemed conveyance which is lengthy process. It is because the law of the land is such owning a property is a constitutional legal right of a person. So if somebody is going to take away the constitutional right of a person, then there has to be due process of the law need to be adopted. And if you don't adopt, it is always possible that the provision may be set aside. And therefore, when you are stepping into, you are asking the district deputy registrar to step into the shoes of the builder and the landowner, naturally, there need to be process adopted. A legal process need to be adopted. And therefore, it is considered to be lengthy. But all other provisions remains alive. Let me explain you. One is you approach the builder. So here, instead of approaching builder, you are approaching the DDR. That's it. Second, collect the documents of land and building. You need to give all these documents to the builder. Your land, your building, your members agreement for sale, every document related to this. Now when you talk about land, building and members detail, that's a big list. Third is you have to prepare a deemed conveyance deed yourself through your advocate. You have to adjudicate and pay the stamp duty. When I say adjudicate, adjudication means determination of stamp duty payable. When you are executing the conveyance deed, there is applicable stamp duty under Maharashtra Stamp Act 1958 is payable. So that need to be done. We were talking about you have to approach the builder, collect all documents of land and building, and also the documents of the member. When I am checking document of the member, if you have got 100 flats, all 100 flat owners agreement duly stamped and registered. Prepare and approach, prepare the conveyance deed and approach the builder to get the conveyance deed registered. And before that, you have to adjudicate and pay the applicable stamp duty. Now, what is the stamp duty payable? That I will come little later because that's again a different topic. I just want to take you to the process. One is approach the builder, collect the document, then prepare the conveyance deed, and then pay and adjudicate the stamp duty what is determined. Now just in one line, if I have to tell you that if all the flat owners have paid their respective stamp duty on the agreement, at the time of conveyance they are required to pay only 100 rupees. If 100 flat owners are there, all 100 flat owners have paid their respective stamp duty on their individual agreement, then in that case they have to pay only 100 rupees. If there are 98 flat owners who have paid the stamp duty of 100, that means 2 people have not paid the stamp duty on their individual agreement, which otherwise they were required to pay on that agreement, and they are not paid. At the time of conveyance, those 2 people's stamp duty will be recovered, and with that, the conveyance will be done. So it is a nominal amount of 100 because when the law was amended on 10th December 1985, when the Maharashtra Stamp Act 1950 was amended, 1958 was amended on 10th December 1985, it said that agreement for sale will be deemed the conveyance. It will be deemed to be the conveyance. It is deemed to be the part conveyance. And what is applicable on the conveyance will be recovered. So therefore, if there are 100 flats, 100 flat owners have paid the stamp duty at a different time, as and when they have agreed to purchase the flat, that means they have paid the stamp duty applicable on conveyance, so therefore they need not pay separately. Those who are not paid, they will have to pay at the time of. So, but to determine this, whether everybody has paid properly or not, you have to go to the collector of stamps, you have to give all 100 documents, prove them that yes, everybody has paid. Then we are coming to the next. Then register the conveyance deed. So registering the conveyance deed goes to the sub-registrar, another authority. At a determination of stamp duty comes to the collector of stamps, another authority. So there are 2 authorities. Collecting the various documents, you go to the city survey office or the talati office or collector's office or BMC office to collect the plan. So there are different departments. Then obtain the index 2 of the conveyance deed which you have done. And last is apply city survey office. That is another 3rd department. So that means stamp duty 1 department, registration another department. Even when you are doing it with the builder, and you go to the city survey office 3rd department. Now, under the deed conveyance also you have to do all this. And when you have to do all this, the society members say that you are making us to run pillar to post. When the builder is also doing, he has to do all this. Only thing, under the deemed conveyance, builder is replaced by the district deputy registrar, nothing else. But anyhow, now if you have to go to the, under section 11, you can go to the legal process, and in the legal process you can go to civil code, you can go to the consumer code, you can go to the criminal code, if the builder does not give the conveyance. You have 3 legal remedies. And in the year 2008, when the law was amended, the district deputy registrar has been appointed as a competent authority to step into the shoes of the builder and the landowner and grant the conveyance. And in the year 2010, the actual rules were notified, and accordingly conveyance or deemed conveyance has come into effect in practical sense from 2010. Now deemed conveyance means what?
Is it a retrospective amendment? So if the society is registered in say 2000 or even 1997 and 4 months has passed, obviously.
I have come there. I have understood your question. Now what is deemed conveyance? Deemed conveyance means it is as good as conveyed. It is treated as conveyed. It is a legal fiction. Now if all these are there, then what is happening now? It is actually getting conveyed. Now my friend is asking a very vital question. Is it a retrospective effect or it's a prospective effect? The answer is it's a prospective effect. Because the law has been amended on 25th February 2008. Now the question arises, you mean to say the societies which are registered after 25th February 2008 only are entitled for deemed conveyance? The answer is no. The societies who want to go for a deemed conveyance after 25th February 2008, and if they are able to prove that their society was in existence for a period more than 4 months, they get. So in other words, it's a retrospective. Action is taken prospective, but it is applicable from the day the Maharashtra Ownership Flat Act 1963 has come into effect. A High Court judgment has gone beyond that. What is the beyond judgment? The High Court judgment says, in one of the case, because you have raised the question, I just want to enlighten you. a person who purchased the flat in the year 1962, the law came into effect 1963. Okay, the builder did not deliver the documents. He did not give the flat. He went to the court, and the builder took a plea saying that the law has come into effect in the year 1963. So how come I am liable for the flat which I have agreed to sell in the year 1962? The High Court said, what is the intention of the legislation? The intention of the legislation is to stop the manipulative and manipulative practice, exploitation practice of the builders. And as of today, have you delivered? No doubt, agreement is made in the year 1962. In the year 1964, have you given the delivery of the document, delivery of the property? No. That means you are defaulted even as on today. So therefore, the law is applicable to the people, even if the agreement is executed earlier, but it takes effect. So similarly here, it does not say it's a retrospective or prospective, because we are dealing with the income tax, so we always talk about prospective and retrospective tax. But here, in the year 2008, when the laws changed, it simply says the societies who have not received the conveyance after the expiry of statutory period of 4 months shall apply to the competent authority, who will have all the enquiries done and register the conveyance deed as a unilateral deed as deemed conveyance. So that means it is not only the action is prospective, but it is applicable for the societies even which are registered prior to 1963. Correct?
So, what about the common amenities like?
Okay, I'll come to it. Now, documents required for conveyance. One is you have to make an application, you have to pay 2,000 rupees court fees, certified documents of the land and building, which otherwise also you need to give it to the different departments of the land. When I say land, it means your Satbara, property card, CDS map, then certified copy of the building, which means approved building plan. Now, my friend is asking a question, what about the common amenities? Now, the situation arises at two different, different situations. Let us say, a society in which one compound is there, and there is only one society, so there is no problem. So that means the entire land, common amenities, and this compound, everything belongs to one society, one building, all are enjoying the common amenities, so there is no problem. Now the problem arises when there are, in one complex, in one layout, there are 2 or more societies. If there are 2 or more societies in one complex, and each society wants to go for a separate conveyance, then the question arises, how this common amenity should be shared. Now the common amenity should be shared commonly. When I say commonly, which means both the societies will have the entitlement for the common. What the respective societies will get is their respective land proportionate to the FSI consumed. Suppose in one layout there is building A and building B. Building A has consumed, let us say, 2,000 square meter. Building B has consumed 3,000 square meter out of 5,000. That means what it happens? 30:20. So that means the entire building, that is land, 60% proportion right will go to the what is called as B building, which has got 30,000 or 3,000 square meter, and 40% of the land will go to A society, which has 2,000 square meter out of total 5,000 square meter. And then in the common amenities, like maybe let us assume there is a road, common road, there is a common garden, 15% RG has to be left. All these will be shared in proportion to the FSI, but they will remain as common. Nobody will have an exclusive right, but RG will remain as a RG, it will remain as a common, but their entitlement in proportion to the FSI will be available to them. Now, it cannot be specified. Now, if I have a blackboard, I would have drawn the picture and shown you.
We have formed apex of 7-8 society.
Yeah. The other option is the common amenities can also be given in the name of apex societies. It can be, you form an apex society, that is called Federation of Societies in that layout, and common amenities can be given in the name of federations, and respective buildings can have the entitlement of the land and building which is in their custody or according to their FSI. It is little technical, we need to study, understand and do it further, but today I just want to give you an overview. So I will only say that in such cases, each society will be entitled to the land rights in proportion to the FSI consumed. It will be in proportion to the FSI consumed.
Multiple flats.
Yeah.
There's multiple buildings and application has to go together for all the multiple buildings or it doesn't?
Yeah. Now, the question arises, who has to make an application? The application has to be made by the person who owns the conveyance. Now, if there are 4 societies in one layout, you can make all 4 societies coming together, passing a resolution, make a one single application. 4 different applications also can be made. Absolutely, there is no problem. Only thing is, if you are making a single society, single application, the remaining 3 societies in layout should be made as a respondent. Why they have to be made respondent? So that the DDR also understands, call for the information from them, so that the one applicant who has made does not take the right and title of another society. In order to give an equal opportunity to the other society and to have a say from those societies, they need to be made a respondent along with the builder and the landowner. So, if there are 5 or more societies, you can form a federation and the entire federation can make an application. But if there is a federation already in the complex and one society wants to go for their own conveyance, in that case they have to make a respondent, even the federation. Even federation should be made a respondent. So I think this is clear. So you can go together, you can go individual, you can go as an apex society. The liberty is given to you. You should take a call. Now therefore, you have to give an agreement for sale, and therefore, if you see column number 7, item number 7, you are required to give an architect certificate. Now the question arises, and my friend was asking me, if there is a use of TDR, what happens? If there is a slum TDR, what happens? If there is a road TDR, what happens? So you and me are not a technical people. So that means the architect is a technical person. He will go through the plan, and after going through the plan, he will say that how much FSI out of the land potential, how much is out of TDR potential, how the land right should be bifurcated into 2 different societies, 3 different societies, 4 different societies in the same layout based on the latest approved plan. Now therefore, if you are going for the one society conveyance in a layout where there are 2 or more societies, you are required to give an entitlement from the architect. It is also possible that different architects may give a different certificate. So it becomes my onus as an applicant to submit my architect certificate, and if the opponent builder or the landowner, or if there is another society who thinks that my architect has given a wrong certificate, they can bring their own architect certificate and get the comparison done through the DDR, District Deputy Register. Competent authority will decide. It is also possible if there are 2 different certificates are before the competent authority, he also will apply his mind and he will take a call which architect certificate to be dependent or taken into cognizance, or they may write to the BMC. They can call a certificate from the BMC as to how the entitlement of the land should be divided. So they also call for the details from the BMC. And there is also a possibility that a competent authority appoints his own independent architect. The way Attorney General helps the High Court or Supreme Court to give certain opinion. Similarly, the way court can appoint a court commissioner, the district deputy registrar also can, at the cost of the applicant, hire a architect, independent architect, ask him to give the report, and based on that report, he can decide. So ultimately, just to come to your view, what happens is, always it is the land potential which is taken, and after the amendment to the DC Rule 1991, where the TDR is permitted to be loaded, so if the TDR is loaded in a building, that means how much TDR is being loaded. So what was the land potential, how much TDR is loaded? Let us assume as on today, 1 FSI, 1 TDR, just to simplify. Okay. So if there is 1 FSI, 1 TDR, and let us assume in your building 80% TDR is loaded, 0.8 TDR is loaded. There is another building where the TDR is not loaded, correct? And that building is, let us say, prior to 1991. And that TDR need to be protected. So in that case, 0.8 is already loaded on you. So basic FSI will be considered, and based on the basic FSI will be decided. Land entitlement will be decided. So there are different methodologies, different ways it is used, but it all depends on the facts before the competent authority and the approved plan before the competent authority and the person who is consulting. All technical things becomes difficult to explain in 2 hours lecture. But one need to understand that these are the various technicalities involved, and therefore you need an expert. I don't have to tell you the knowledge of expert. You know, I know, if the income tax is above certain limit, 2,50,000, so much is the income tax, and then then why you need a chartered accountant just to file income tax return? And a chartered accountant files the income tax return and a tax practitioner files the return. See the difference, and then when the scrutiny takes place, one will come and try. So we know, because what happens is, if you don't hire a proper consultant, people after getting a deemed conveyance have approached me saying that my entitlement has been reduced to 300 square meter, 400 square meter. Imagine to save a piece of a consultant, because they take quotation. Housing society, you know, they take quotation. And when they take a quotation, X gives a quotation of 10 lakhs, another gives a quotation of 3 lakhs, another gives a quotation of 1 lakh. And they go with the 3 lakh quotation, saying that he must be reasonable. And he gets the conveyance order, gets everything done. They do the stamp duty, register everything. And then when they really go to the city survey office, they find that they have got 300 square meter less entitlement. It has happened. And then you know, the entire exercise goes to a toss, and then you have to go to the High Court, and then maybe Supreme Court. And otherwise you have to lose entire 300 square meter of entitlement in a city like Mumbai, where you can construct about 9,000 square feet in 300. So these are the various issues, but sometimes people are penny wise and pound foolish, and that's what happens. And therefore, one need to see that you always take the good consultant. Anyhow, so you need to go with the survey and city survey map, because earlier in the agreement for sale, they used to make the survey number. And you need to take a search report from the advocate, because many of the societies tell me, sir, why you want a search report? My title is clear, I have taken the loan, society is about 20 years old, why you want to take a search report today? But very sorry to say that the builders, landowners, maybe whatever may be their intention, even after the society is registered, even if everything is done, they transfer the title to third party. You must have seen in the case of redevelopment now, whenever the societies are going or thinking of redevelopment, the old landowner sells the entire land which was supposed to be given to the society to XYZ, and they pay the stamp duty to the registration. If you don't take the search, you will not know. And if you don't make them as a party, then you will be getting a conveyance deed. 2-3 societies have come to me. They have got a conveyance deed, everything. But the party against whom they have taken a conveyance deed, in their name the land does not stand. The DDR has signed. DDR says, I have signed on the basis that the land is standing in the name of old owner, because you are not given the latest property card, and you have not taken the search. You came with the document saying that the land was belonging to so and so builder, so and so landowner. You attached the old, property card. You did not take the search. You gave a wrong information to me, and therefore I have signed on behalf of old owner. I have signed on behalf of old builder. Whereas today the landowner is not there, so the property card does not get changed. So the dispute arises, and therefore if you take a search as on today from this sub-register office, if there is any transaction happened in respect of that particular survey number, you will come to know, and those people can be made a party. Now this is where Lakshmi Chaya, your own area, I can just share with you. This has been shared by the society, Mr. Cheda secretary, in a public seminar. I was invited in that society before about 2-3 years before its demolition or rather collapse. I had been to that society. I gave a quotation also. But when in the same way the meeting took place in the general body, what happens? So many people said Mr. Prabhu does not have the work. He runs pillar to post, runs society to society, not understanding the passion that I have carried. But they said 6 lakhs is the quotation, which is the very big, and our building does not get collapsed, because at that time I was giving an example of Kandili West. If you know Rajur Cooperative Society at Amrit Nagar, that is MG Road, that building had collapsed. So I used to give an example of that, and I said if the building collapses, then what you will do? They said our building is so strong, it can never collapse. But later on, what happened is, it was reported in Times of India, DNA, Hindustan Times, various newspapers. They had to wait 2 years to get the conveyance. And so 2 years, 50 people paid 25,000 rupees rent outside. So each person paid 6 lakh rupees rent for 2 years. And the expenses which came was nearly 1.5 crore. 1 crore 50 lakhs they had to pay. Because, which otherwise would have been done in what is known as 6 lakhs, that too only professional fees with 100 rupees stamp duty, but they had to pay 1.5 crore. Now technically this could be different, but this is what has happened. And why they had to go for a conveyance, though everybody had a sympathy, but without conveyance they were not supposed to get the plan passed. And when they were not able to get the plan passed, that means they cannot go for the redevelopment. So this is how it happened. And I know, housing society is very good in crisis management. If there is any problem in the lift, if there is a short circuit or something, we will try to do temporary arrangement. But if somebody expires, and then you will do everything. Or if the entire cable gets burst, then we will replace the entire cable, maybe costing 50,000, 1 lakh rupees. But if you have to take care of repairing with 500 rupees with one electrician, which we don't take care. So this is what happens normally. So anyhow, then these are the various documents required. These are the various documents which are required for the conveyance. Society registration, stamp duty registration, agreement of sale, commencement certificate, OC, approved building plan, 7th extract, form number 6, search report, index to property card. All these documents are required even when you are going for a regular conveyance. The problem with the housing society people, deemed conveyance को बहुत गलत कर दिया, बहुत सारा document चाहिए. Not understanding all these documents are required when you go for adjudication, when you go for registration, when you go for change of property card. All these documents are required, even in the regular conveyance. Only thing, all these are done by a consultant, these are done by a builder, and we don't understand. Now in the deemed conveyance, we want everything to be relaxed. Anyhow, yeah.
So in the case of Lakshmi Chaya or similar kind of case, when the building collapses, can the builder or the owner of the land can come and claim that this is my property and I may sell it to a hotel fellow or a...
Yeah, he can.
So you
Because
say
the
that
land is owned by whom? Land is owned by the landowner. Unless until conveyance is done, you cannot do.
So you said that it took 2 years.
Yeah.
So I mean,
because
in that interim period, anybody could have done that. I mean, not done is a separate thing.
there it was not done, and the builder and the landowner signed because they were arrested. So many things happen. But in the normal course, that does not happen. Even if the normally what happens is appearance, non-appearance, like a court matter. DDR, you sign an application, you give the document, it is called for the opponent. There can be appearance, non-appearance, production, inspection of document, parties to file the relevant say. And the most important is the deemed conveyance order has to be passed within 6 months from the date of making application. That is very important. Within 6 months from the date of making application, your deemed conveyance gets, released. So therefore, it is important. No cross-examination like a court. It is the provision in the rules. So there will not be any cross-examination, and everything has to be done within 6 months. So this is the time limit which is given. So therefore, I think here CA means competent authority, not a chartered accountant. On receipt of reply, CA may hear oral arguments of the party and close the proceedings. Okay.
और इसमें स्पीकिंग ऑर्डर होती है, और यदि एप्लीकेंट केस इज फिट फॉर ग्रांटिंग देन यूनिलैटरल वन साइडेड कन्वेंस ग्रांट किया जाता है। और जैसा मैंने बताया कि वो होने के बाद आपको कन्वेंस डीड बनाना है, जहां बिल्डर कोऑपरेट करता है, जमीन मालक कोऑपरेट करता है, उधर उनका सिग्नेचर मिलता है, बाकी सब सोसाइटी को ही करना है, जिसको टाइटल लेना है उन्हीं को करना है। उसी तरह से इधर भी वैसे ही है, जहां बिल्डर और जमीन मालक साइन नहीं करता है, उधर जॉइंट रजिस्ट्रार सिग्नेचर करेगा, वो आपको उनके तरफ से सिग्नेचर देगा। बाकी का जो काम है वो सोसाइटी को ही करना है, जैसे क्या कन्वेंस डीड बनाना, उसके ऊपर स्टैम्प ड्यूटी भरना, यदि सिडको का कोई ड्यूज बाकी है वो भरना, और डॉक्यूमेंट रजिस्टर करना। ये जो इंटरेक्शन मेरा था, और ये मेरा डीम्ड कन्वेंस का बुक जो राष्ट्रपति ने फॉरवर्ड दिया था और चीफ मिनिस्टर ने रिलीज किया था, और एक एक्चुअल डीम्ड कन्वेंस डीड जो मुंबई का मैंने स्कैन करके बताया, आप देखेंगे सेकंड पेज में, डिस्ट्रिक्ट डेप्यूटी रजिस्ट्रार हैज साइंड ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ सनशाइन एंटरप्राइजेस। मतलब गवर्नमेंट ऑफ महाराष्ट्र हैज कम आउट विद अ जीआर सेइंग दैट एम्पावरिंग द जॉइंट रजिस्ट्रार to sign on behalf of builder, to sign on behalf of the landowner who is not cooperating for the conveying land and building। और सोसाइटी की तरफ से तो सिग्नेचर है ही है। अलग अलग एक्ट इसमें लागू है, ऐसा इतना आसान नहीं है जैसा मैं 15-20 मिनट में आपको बता रहा हूँ, लेकिन इसमें इश्यूज है, रजिस्ट्रेशन एक्ट, स्टैम्प एक्ट, ये है। और दिस इज वेयर आई वाज एक्सप्लेनिंग टू राष्ट्रपति अबाउट द प्रोविजंस ऑफ कन्वेंस एंड अदर थिंग्स when she was there, and these are the various judgments, जैसे कि completion certificate not required for deemed conveyance, क्योंकि एक बिल्डर ने ऐसा बताया कि completion certificate नहीं है, तो deemed conveyance DDR ने जो दिया वो गलत है। जब हाई कोर्ट में मैटर गया कि बोला कि एक बार फ्लैट बेच दिया, सोसाइटी बन गया, सोसाइटी बनने के 4 महीने के अंदर बिल्डर को कन्वेंस देना कंपलसरी है। यदि बिल्डिंग कंप्लीशन नहीं है और 30 साल से बिल्डिंग कंप्लीशन नहीं है, अभी रीडेवलपमेंट में आया है, और वो बोलता है कि डीम्ड कन्वेंस जो दिया है वो गलत है, क्योंकि बिल्डिंग ही मैं कंप्लीट नहीं किया, अभी मैं तोड़ के नया बिल्डिंग बनाऊंगा, इनको नया फ्लैट दूंगा, इस तरह का जब आर्गुमेंट हुआ तो बोला कि ऐसा तो नहीं हो सकता। डीम्ड कन्वेंस यदि बिल्डिंग कंप्लीशन नहीं, इसके लिए रोक नहीं सकता। उसी तरह से दूसरा जजमेंट था केस इन द कंज्यूमर कोर्ट। एक लैंड ओनर ने ऑब्जेक्शन लिया कि इनका कंज्यूमर कोर्ट में ऑलरेडी केस पेंडिंग है, तो डीम्ड कन्वेंस में नहीं जा सकता। तो हाई कोर्ट ने बताया ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, क्योंकि दैट इज अ अल्टरनेटिव रेमेडी। यदि कन्वेंस नहीं दिया, इसके लिए वो कंज्यूमर कोर्ट में गए। आज जॉइंट रजिस्ट्रार और डिस्ट्रिक्ट डेप्यूटी रजिस्ट्रार इज टेकिंग और सिटिंग ऑन द प्लेस ऑफ बिल्डर या लैंड ओनर। अभी उनको कन्वेंस देना है, जिस दिन वो कन्वेंस देते हैं डीम्ड कन्वेंस का हिसाब से, तो कंज्यूमर कोर्ट का जो लिटिगेशन है दैट बिकम्स इनफेक्चुअस, तो कोई जरूरी नहीं है। आज उन्होंने कन्वेंस दिया, इसके लिए कंज्यूमर कोर्ट में केस दाखिल है। अभी कंज्यूमर कोर्ट में केस दाखिल है, इसके लिए कन्वेंस नहीं करना, ये तो सरासर अन्याय है। तो बोलते हैं कि यदि कोर्ट में केस पेंडिंग भी है तो भी डीम्ड कन्वेंस कर सकता है। उसी तरह से डीम्ड कन्वेंस इज पॉसिबल इवन इफ देयर इज अ बैलेंस एफएसआर। यदि सोसाइटी बन गया 20, 25, 30 साल हो गया, अब 500 स्क्वायर फीट या कई जगह में 100 स्क्वायर मीटर बैलेंस एफएसआर है, और इसके लिए आप कन्वेंस नहीं देते हो, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता। यदि आपका बैलेंस एफएसआर है, फिर भी आपको डीम्ड कन्वेंस देना है।